I feel like if you're really ambitious as a human being, you're just setting yourself up to live a tougher life. It's like if you have no goals, like I'd just be in my backyard smoking weed right now without a care in the world. But
Yeah.
like if you have goals, it's like you always want to like push through and like your mind is gonna play tricks on you.
Yes.
So I feel like I always just I keep on saying it just comes down to like what do you exactly want to do?
This is back to your story.
Brother, how's it going?
Dude, doing amazing. How about you?
Fantastic. I really appreciate you allowing us to come to your beautiful home, your studio, and experience all of this. It's fantastic.
Absolutely. Welcome to the desert.
Yes, it's freaking dude. It's so funny when we were in our Uber ride to the hotel yesterday. I was like, "Oh, is it starting to get hot now?" And it was like 95 degrees. She's like,
Right.
"Oh, it's not hot yet." I'm like, "What are you talking about? It's 95 fucking degrees outside."
Oh yeah, it'll get way hotter out here. It'll get to 115, 120 in the summertime. It's pretty
Shit.
wild.
How do you deal with that?
You just stay inside. Only go outside in the morning.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, but it is. It's so beautiful up here, man, and it's really cool what you did. And I absolutely love the kitty cats, man.
Crazy cats.
Yes, yeah. Whose idea was that?
I was wifey over here.
All right,
Yeah.
all right.
That was actually my Father's Day present. Even though I'm not a father, I'm
Okay.
a fur father.
You're a
so
fur father.
That counts for something,
Yes,
right?
it does. Absolutely, absolutely. So for the people just kind of tuning in, do you mind doing a brief introduction of who you are?
Yeah, for sure. So I like to call myself a YouTuber and a fitness entrepreneur. So I've been a YouTuber since about 2000, actually all the way back in 2015. I was part of a YouTube channel that kind of got my feet wet in video production and just being on camera and making fitness videos. And then I started a supplement company in 2017. So basically just full-time fitness entrepreneur and YouTuber.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you, when you first started making YouTube videos, what did you envision in your head?
Man, like YouTube was so much different back then. So I just wanted to educate people and teach them how to work out better, how to make gains, how to look shredded.
Yeah.
And then since then, I think it just evolved into like a bigger vision of truly wanting to inspire people and entertain people, make like crazy videos, have more production behind my videos. But it's like back in the day, you could get 1 million views just like standing in front of a camera, showing people how to do a bicep curl or something like that.
Yeah, it's so crazy the evolution of YouTube, and then just what people like yourself and other people in the industry have been able to branch off. Doing like your supplement company or like Logan Paul Prime or having
Right.
that. It's just like I'm 36 years old, and
Right.
I never would have imagined anything like this when I was younger.
It's insane. Like, think of it like this. Mr. Beast is like a billionaire on paper.
Yeah.
Like, the only athlete in the world that's a billionaire is like LeBron James, Michael Jordan, maybe like Messi now. Like,
Yeah.
isn't that crazy? A 24, 25-year-old kid can be more valuable than like the top athletes in the world just off of a YouTube and just building a brand off the platform.
It's so crazy. I mean, that kid gets 100 million views a video.
It's so crazy to think about. I was just reading how like Arnold Schwarzenegger had like the 5th top show on Netflix, and it had like 4 or 5 million views in like the first week. I'm like, that'd be the worst Mr. Beast video of all time.
Yeah, yeah.
It's crazy to think about.
It really is, and the amount of money that goes into that product. I mean, Mr. Beast does put a lot of money into his production as well.
Right.
But it is crazy. I mean, even like talking to Tyler, he predominantly watches stuff on like YouTube. I'll be like, oh, did you watch this? Did you watch? And it's like, no,
Right.
no. And that's kind of the generation now, right? It's just it's shifted, but it's great because there's a lot of great things out there, and I do like the diversification of individuals being able to create content and be able to create brands. When you were younger, like where did you grow up, and did you ever envision this would be what your life would become?
Yeah, I guess it's tough because social media and like YouTube didn't exist when I was, growing up. But I basically grew up in Wisconsin. I was obsessed with basketball. And like, I mean, obsessed. I would practice 4 or 5 hours a day. I would have to make 500 jump shots, 100 free throws. And I always thought I'd be a pro basketball player. But unfortunately, by NBA standards, I'm literally like a midget. I'm like 6'1", right? So like in society, I'm okay.
Yes.
But like compared to like an NBA basketball player, I'm like an extremely undersized point guard.
Yeah.
But I started getting into like working out when I knew I wouldn't make the NBA. It was just sort of like I was used to just training, doing something physical. So I started lifting weights. I really enjoyed it. And then I also started getting into acting. I just thought it was really cool. Like in sports, it's like you're live. It's a performance. And in like acting, it sort of puts this pressure on you to have to like really be in the moment and perform. So I kind of thought it'd be cool to just like be in movies and stuff. I didn't really have much of a vision for it, but I did, dabble in acting a little bit. And then I met a guy who had a YouTube channel and like an online business right around that time. And that kind of just went down the rabbit hole of, oh, how do people even make money on the internet? Is this actually like a career? And that's kind of how I got here.
And with that being said, I want to talk today about Botanic Tonics Feel Free. It's an absolute game changer, guys. For me, anytime I start a podcast or anytime I want to go out, but I don't want that hangover and you just need that social lubricant kind of to take that edge off, this is my go-to choice. It is one of those things that gives me a clean energy boost without the jitters. Once again, a social lift without the hangover and focus enhancement without the crash. Check it out today. You get $40 off plus free shipping when you use the code BTYS. Hit the link in the bio. Let's get back to it.
That's so crazy. Do you remember, how old are you?
37.
So you're 37,
Yeah.
right? You look good, man.
Appreciate it.
When you were younger, right? 2015, so you're like 30, right?
Right.
29. When you started getting and dabbling into YouTube, like what did your family think? Did they question it or did they think it was weird?
I don't think that they knew there was money in it. Like, I think they thought there was maybe like a tiny bit of money in it, but 7 years ago, there is no Mr. Beast. There is no one who is building 7, 8, 9-figure brands off YouTube. It was just like, oh, some people on the internet watch their videos, but they, like even to this day, I think most people don't understand how much money you can make on social media.
Yeah, it is. It's the reach that an individual has is unlike anything before.
Right.
Social media has definitely changed the game for people to be able to, create their own content, like we said, right? But to build their own brands in a massive way, which is absolutely insane. So when you first started, creating content, what was the focus, right? It was just workout videos.
Yeah, I guess I just really wanted to inspire people to go through a transformation themselves. So I used to be really skinny. I was like 6 foot, 140 pounds when I played basketball, like junior year of high school. And then I probably bulked up and gained 30, 40 pounds in a short period of time. And I had so much more confidence. I felt amazing. And I was always like the weak kid, even in like elementary school or middle school gym class. I remember being so afraid to bench press because there was a girl who could bench press more than me. Like I could barely get the bar off my chest. And then just being able to like put in the work and transform, I'm like, holy shit. It's like, if I can put in the work and transform physically, I feel like I could transform my life in any capacity.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to kind of help people and inspire them in a similar way.
So for an individual that's trying to, do something like that, how did you even put on 30, 40 pounds?
I was just obsessed with the process, I believe. Like, I just truly enjoyed going in the gym and, like, each week getting a little bit stronger, like gaining 1 to 2 pounds a week. So I feel like I'm just addicted to progress.
Yeah.
And it's a really simple thing. It's like, imagine even like, a YouTube channel or a podcast. If it just grows a little bit each week, each month, you're excited about it.
Yes.
So I think I just became addicted to the progress about it.
Why do you think it is that most people give up, right? Even that little bit of progress, right? Like I think in society in today's terms, like people see like, these big stars, these big influencers, right? And they think that it happened overnight, right? Because now they're just hearing about them, but they don't understand the 10 years of, bullshit videos that they put together.
Exactly.
I mean, go back to Mr. Beast's earliest videos, right? It's like it's crazy, right?
Counting to 100,000 in his room or something wild,
It's like so weird.
Right.
But he stuck to the process. And so why do you think in today's terms, like why do so many people give up?
Yeah, that's an amazing question because I feel like it comes from not knowing what you truly want. Because if you really are obsessed with wanting something, you're going to persevere through all the bullshit. Like, I just noticed you have like a Mickey Mouse tattoo on your hand.
Yeah.
I just heard this story about Walt Disney and like all the bullshit he had to go through, all the failures that he had, but he knew exactly what he wanted. So he was willing to persevere for, 10 damn years to get where he wanted to go.
Yeah.
Like, he was fired. He was dead broke. He was eating dog biscuits. He was so poor. Like, no one believed in his vision except him. So I feel like most people just don't have a clear vision. But if you have a vision, you know what you want, it becomes a lot easier. It's never easy, but it becomes easier.
Yeah. It's just hard, when you're going through it and it's like failure after failure after failure, and you're not looking at it from the opposite side. It's like, okay, yeah, I failed this time, but why did I fail?
Right.
Okay, well, next time let's do something different, right? And continue to grow. It is that instant, instant hit of dopamine of, influencer success, business success, life success, romance success, whatever it is that people want. But that's in reality, like you said, something like, Walt Disney, it took him so long to get to where he is. And that is, it's all about the journey, man.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
100%.
For you, like going through this entire process, like
what has been some of the struggles trying to, build, your YouTube and especially your supplement brand?
Yeah, I mean, the YouTube stuff, I never really put a ton of pressure on myself because I had other revenue streams. It wasn't like my life depended on it, but I just really wanted to grow and like have an audience and grow on that platform. But in terms of the business, I would say the toughest time was the first like year and a half. We had some sales coming in, but like we weren't even paying ourselves anything. So we had to hustle. We had to find like clever ways to like work on the business full time, but then still have some money coming in. So that was a really tough time because there was like 80, 100-hour weeks. And then we finally got to a point where we're like, okay, we can pay ourselves a full-time salary. We can start to build a team, hire employees, that sort of thing. But, those first year and a half, 2 years was really tough.
Why didn't you give up?
I think because we just saw progress. Like, we got to a point where, okay, we got 10 sales a day, 20 sales a day, 100 sales a day. We had a clear vision. We wanted to inspire people, make really good products. And I mean, I had a great business partner. If I was alone on an island, so to speak, I maybe would have. I don't know. It's not really in my personality to give up. But like, I had a great business partner, and we both had similar like interests and a similar vision towards it. So it just became easier.
Yeah, I mean, having a solid business partner always helps. Having a shitty business partner definitely hurts, right?
100%, yeah.
For you, like looking back, trying to build all this, like if you could go back to like your younger self, right? Let's even 7 years ago, 8 years ago, like what would you tell yourself from today back then?
That's a great question. I would just say like, I feel like we'd even be in a greater place if we had a more clear vision of what we were trying to accomplish. Because I feel like a lot of people just start a business because it's the trendy, cool thing. Like, oh, I want to be self-employed. I want to be like a self-made man, whatever. But I feel like most people don't have like a why behind it. Like, what are you actually trying to do with your business? Like for us, we're trying to provide like the fuel and motivation for people to really change their life and then change everyone's life around them. Because like, imagine someone like stumble across our products, they start taking it, they start getting the content, they're motivated, they're going to the gym more. Now they're, maybe they motivated their brother and their friend who was really lazy, and he starts working out, and it becomes this incredible compound effect. So it's like, if we can be the best at providing not only like the supplements is one thing, but like, even in theory, if the supplements did nothing and then they start to, they're in our community and they love our content and they feel fired up watching a little video, like that's all it takes to change your life.
Yeah, it really does. And it's incredible like how much amazing content is out there that can fire you up, right? It's
for
like
sure.
For me, before I get in the cold plunge in the morning, like I'll get in the sauna for 7 minutes, right? To kind of heat my body up and then get in the cold plunge before I work out, right? And I'll fucking put on, I just go on YouTube, David Goggins, motivation. Dude, bro,
Dude, he just has a way with words,
It just you could be like in the dumps and then you listen to him and you're like, let's fucking go.
Hell yeah.
I love that shit, man.
Yeah. Like for me, that guy was Greg Plitt. I don't know if you know who he is, but like similar personality to, you got to watch a Greg Plitt video after this, but he just has this amazing way with words. And I remember when I just started getting into working out, I stumbled across, this is before YouTube, he had like a members area. And he had hundreds of little workout vlogs, and he would go off these little like tangents and just motivational speeches, and just like something about it really it really changed me. Like, I don't know if I would have started Elfline on the YouTube without that experience.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. Just like that one internet video could change anyone's life.
It's so freaking true, man. Is he still putting out content?
He passed away. It's a pretty crazy story. He actually got hit by a train at like 37 years old. He was like shooting a protein commercial, and this is like in LA, they have like little like metro Amtrak areas, and it's not like a really loud train. They're not quite as loud as a normal train. And I don't know if he like mistimed his jump. There's different theories, but like I remember the day it happened, I couldn't believe it. My friend texted me. He's like, holy shit, Greg Plitt died. I'm like, huh?
Damn, man.
It sucks that he died so tragic because he was so motivational.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's absolutely, I mean, he's still so young, dude, 37.
I know, man. He was like, he would have crushed it in the social media era. He was just like a great speaker, really motivating dude. He was on the cover of like 100 fitness magazines, like had a perfect physique. So yeah, man, sucks.
Yeah, man. That's why you can't take life for granted, man.
No.
So, like, life is a blink of a fucking eye.
Right.
And a lot of people don't truly realize that. Like, and I just think about this all the time, like how fortunate I am, right, to be living in fucking the United States in Southern California, right? And especially during this time, like we have conversations all the time, Tyler and I, like what it was like to live 100, 200, 300, 400, 500
Oh
years
yeah.
ago. And so now we have like a lot of these tools at our hands that we've never had before, but you have to put in the work. You have to put in the effort to get that. And so, yeah, it's really sad that dude passed away, but he inspired you, and he did. He helped change your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? So when you started building the supplement brand, what was like the focus behind it?
Yeah, so the focus behind it was we're a performance dominant brand. So like we wanted to just help people perform better. You know, there's a lot of really shitty products on the market when we started. There's a lot better brands now because there's so much content and transparency. But like back in the day, it was kind of dominated by these like legacy brands, these like big, powerful corporations. They would make really shitty supplements with high margins. So like our motivation was just to create better products and formulas, which quite honestly was not that hard at the beginning. Now there's a lot of great companies out there. Like there's a lot of companies that are transparent, make really good, formulas, use quality ingredients, but we just want to help people perform better. Like there's a lot of side effects associated with, say, like pre-workouts, even protein supplements, or like messing up people's stomach.
Yeah.
So just giving people a better overall experience was kind of the motivation at the beginning.
Was it hard though, like trying to put that all together? I mean, but you said transparency is fucking key, right? It's like literally everything,
right?
Especially when you're taking supplements, man.
You
want to know what's in there.
For sure. It wasn't that hard because I had taken supplements my whole life. Like I don't know if you know much about the whole pre-workout supplement like era, but there was this product called like Jack 3D back in the day, and there's all these different pre-workouts. I would always read the magazines, and I knew about every ingredient. So like I knew so much about the industry, so did my business partner, and then we also consulted with a lot of scientists. So it wasn't like we were just like on Google, just like coming up with shit. Like we were talking to scientists and stuff as well, but I had a good like foundation.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's so freaking important. And once again, I'm just going to go back to it, is like transparency is such a huge issue in a lot of things. Right. But I do see, supplement brands, more and more, are being more transparent, but it's awesome that you were, part of that wave. Do you remember the first days of like thinking, okay, like how did you even come up with the name Alpha Lion?
Yeah, good question. I was stuck on that name for like 3-4 years prior, and I thought it'd be kind of a cool like apparel company, clothing company. And I met my business partner at the time. We were just like kind of within the first month of meeting, we were just like, all right, we're gonna start this like sports nutrition company. And we just kind of brainstorming what we should name it. And I'm like, oh, I've always had this, name Alpha Lion. So we just kind of went for it. And then I was always obsessed with the word superhuman. So it's almost like the brand within the brand.
Yeah.
Because like superhuman is such like everyone has this, like everyone thinks of something when they hear the word superhuman.
Yes.
So I think we got really lucky with that name, even more so than Alpha Lion.
100%.
Yeah.
It's like such a.
Yeah. Like we'll probably do an energy drink at some point. It'll be superhuman energy. It wouldn't be Alpha Lion energy. And it's just like the perfect name for any kind of performance product that gives you energy.
It is. When you guys, started thinking of that, like there was no other brands called Superhuman?
It's crazy, but there wasn't. Like we snatched that trademark so fast. Like we own the Superhuman mark in so many categories. We own it in like water, energy drinks, supplements, food products, production, like everything.
Yeah, it's so weird because you just think with that would have already been bought up. Like Superhuman.
You'd think so, yeah.
Those names go so well together.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
100%, man. So, like when you, like I always like to ask this question, especially people, like that have your physique, you're very, very fit. Like when you look back from like when you were younger to today, obviously we have these protocols that we build out. Like this is what I do every single day. For people that are listening that maybe don't work out all the time, right? Like what are some key things that people can do to just get off their ass and move, man?
Yeah, I would say a lot of people, it's tough to give like general advice because a lot of people have existing like injuries. I have a hip issue, a knee issue. Like we have this friend, John, he owns Mentality Clothing, and we actually took him to the gym yesterday. He's like in terrible shape, like always just like, oh no, I'm not going to start working out. Then one like night he'll be drunk, but like, all right, Monday I'm going to start.
Yeah.
And he's been saying this for like 6-9 months. We kind of like put him through a workout. And, he has like a little hip issue, a knee issue, a shoulder issue. So like we were, trying to get him to do like dumbbell bench press. He couldn't do that. We were trying to get him to do like some leg stuff with the weights, and that was like hurting his hip. So I would say like someone just trying to start off, just keep it really simple. Like you can do wall sits, which is a leg exercise. You can do push-ups, and you can do like assisted pull-ups. That's basically your whole body.
Yeah.
So just take it slow and listen to your body, and just like something's better than nothing, right?
100%. I mean, to not do anything is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Like
not-
you're just cutting your life short, and it's like you're gonna feel like shit. You're not gonna be proud of how you look. So
Absolutely, man. I mean, it's so crazy to think that, unfortunately, in America, it's a huge majority of our population that's not doing anything, that's not eating correctly, that's not
Right.
taking care of themselves. But I am seeing like a bigger wave and a bigger trend, right? But that's still not the brunt, the large mass of
Right.
people. And it's like, dude, if you just committed, 30 minutes, 3 days a week, right? Like
Yeah.
that's better than nothing. Even fucking walking around the block.
100%. Yeah. Like walking is great for fat loss. Like I'm on a
Yes.
little like summer shred right now, so I'll just literally like walk back and forth around the neighborhood. Walk 2 miles a day.
Yeah.
That adds up a ton over the course of a month.
It definitely does. But what it comes down to with everything is up here, your brain mentality, right?
For sure.
Right? Shit, man. Even like David Goggins' story, even my own personal story, like your brain will allow you to quit, or it will allow you, if you allow yourself, to
Right.
push farther than you've ever fucking imagined,
Right.
right? And that to me is a beautiful thing. For you now, like what are key things that you do every single week to kind of keep yourself and your body in check?
Yeah, so I have like pretty unique fitness goals, I think, especially for my age. So I used to be a basketball player, so I kind of had a foundation as an athlete. So like the way I train, I call it athletic bodybuilding. So I want to inspire people of like what's possible even as you get 35, 40, maybe even 45. So like I know a lot of people that have like, the dad bod thing going on in their 30s. Like I want to be 40 and be able to still dunk a basketball and like run a really fast 40. I want to say I'm faster than like, half the football players playing in the NFL games every Sunday.
Let's go.
So like I have really unique training goals. I mean, I'm naturally a little bit more athletic, but I also got into bodybuilding. So like I like to combine both elements. So almost every single week I'll do like sprinting, I'll do some jumping and plyometrics, then I'll do like the bodybuilding training. So I like kind of encompassing a few elements.
Yeah, I think that's good though. Like especially for your type of physique, like and for a lot of people, I do like that. For like me, I love hit exercises.
Yeah, hell
like
yeah.
it's just there's just something about just pushing my body really fucking hard. For
Yeah,
45
it's like 100%.
Just for 45 minutes, just balls to the walls, doing that. And like I suffer from multiple sclerosis, right? And
Wow.
and I could not imagine what it was. So I used to be like probably 25 pounds heavier.
Okay.
3 years ago, I think it was.
Gotcha.
4 years ago, I don't even remember now. And then I really started working out, and it just pushing myself beyond what I normally would have, right? Because I
Right.
was that person. I had the dad bod and everything like that, and it really does, just mentally, but also physically, it helps out just in every aspect. I mean, people that are suffering from autoimmune disorders, it doesn't matter what the fuck it is.
Right.
You need to take really good care of your body. Do you do anything like sauna or cold plunge or?
Man, I just started. It's funny when you talked about the cold plunge. So, I'm producing this whole series for my YouTube channel called Project Superhuman. So actually the first episode, it was a cold plunge every single day. And like, I hate being cold. I hate cold water so much. So that was one of the toughest challenges that I've ever done. Like, it was cold when I was doing it, so we'd like fill my hot tub back in my backyard with a bunch of ice.
Yeah.
The water is probably like 42, 43 degrees, and like I remember I did 5 minutes on day 7, and like I was shivering so bad my chest cramped up when I got out.
It's so crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's jarring getting in. I was like, it's like I knew it would be. I didn't know what to expect, to be honest. So I had a little bit of anxiety about it, and then I remember just like kind of psyching myself out of it. I was reading like all this shit on Google, and it was like, oh, the American Heart Association says like sudden immersion in cold water can kill a person and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I felt amazing when I got out. I felt so good. And I've also been using a lot of like sauna recovery, like, post-workout sauna. I love doing that too.
Yes. I mean, it's so good, dude. Like I literally could like feel like shit, right?
Yeah.
Get in for 3 minutes, get out, and you just, it just does something, right?
Right.
That unlike anything else. And then, the sauna just, I mean, for me, it's so good for sleep, but you do it post workout.
Yeah. I pretty much only do it post workout. I was just reading that it's good to accelerate recovery after an intense workout. I think like Joe Rogan's a big proponent of doing a post workout.
Yeah.
I'll do like 15 minutes 3-4 times a week.
Yes.
I haven't really been doing the cold plunge the last couple months. I need to get back into it. It's just
Yeah.
kind of like I did cryotherapy though last week.
There
That was
we
pretty
go.
interesting.
There we go. Yeah, it's very interesting, dude. It's because it was like negative 215 degrees, something like that.
Yeah, but it's easier
It's
than
easier.
the cold
It's
plunge.
so
Like,
much
don't get me
easier.
wrong, it's cold. It's kind of like you're in the Arctic and it's
Yes.
windy. Is how I would describe
100%.
it. Yeah,
And you got a blanket on. You know, it's like
Yeah.
or not. I don't remember what the fuck happened. But I've done it multiple times. But yeah, it's so weird how much a cold plunge before you get in will psych your brain out.
Oh yeah,
You will do everything in your power to say no.
right.
In your life, whatever it is, cold plunge, whatever it's like, how do you get past that? How do you push past the no?
I guess it just always comes down to like wanting that end result so bad that you're willing to go through all the bullshit to get there. Like, I feel like if you're really ambitious as a human being, you're just setting yourself up to live a tougher life. It's like if you have no goals, like I'd just be in my backyard smoking weed right now without a care in the world. But like if you have goals, it's like you always want to like push through and like your mind is going to play tricks on you.
Yes.
So I feel like I keep on saying it just comes down to like, what do you exactly want to do? Like, you know, with Outfund, we have like specific goals with like our revenue. We have like an exit plan. So like we know exactly what we want to do. So like, yeah, some days might suck. We might, you know, get sued. An employee might quit. Who knows? Like millions of things happen, you know, week to week. But it's just like knowing what you want.
Yeah, that's so important. But I don't know if a lot of people know what they want.
Yeah, that's the tough part, right?
All right, it is.
Yeah,
it is. I mean, dude, life is, as you know, it's fucking crazy, man. So
right.
it's like, and
especially nowadays, I feel like life used to be like very simple, like the 70s and 80s. I don't know.
Yeah, it's different times, man.
Yeah,
different times. I mean,
100%.
You know, I mean, when you were a kid, I mean, I was a latchkey kid growing up, man. I was fucking out, you know, when the sun came up and no phone. I mean, I didn't get a cell phone until I was like 18, you know? So it was just like such a different time for us. And I feel fortunate that I was able to grow up before, you know, the emergence of, you know, like the internet. And after,
same,
right?
for sure.
So you kind of get both aspects of it. But yeah, today is definitely, it's just a lot more crazy. A lot more people are just, they know a lot. Things are very connected in a large way. You know, you said earlier that, you know, you build these goals like an exit plan and all of those things. Like, are these things that you just, when you're in the sauna or when you're going to bed, like when do you think of these goals that you build for your life?
Yeah, good question. I guess my mind kind of never shuts off. It's like a blessing and a curse. So, yeah, just sometimes you'll just have like, I call it like a moment of clarity. Like sometimes I'll just be toying around with like different situations and scenarios in my head and I just like don't have clarity on it. Then all of a sudden one day it'll just kind of like click out of nowhere. Like maybe I'm going for a walk. Maybe I'm like in the middle of a set at the gym playing basketball. It's sometimes when you're not thinking about it. It's like you obsess over it and then you just like let it be and then you just subconsciously go back to it. And it's like, oh, this is what I want to do. Yeah.
Are you able to shut your mind off?
Sometimes. I don't know. I try.
It's hard.
It depends how good things are going, you know?
It's so true, dude.
Yeah.
It's so true. It's so true. It's like, man, yeah, I totally get it. Looking at your life, are you proud of what you've been able to accomplish?
Yeah, 100%. I'd say like proud but never satisfied is like a good way to put it because I feel like you just like I'm very goal oriented. Like I was watching the Arnold Schwarzenegger documentary on Netflix and he has a really interesting perspective on this. So he was like into bodybuilding, he accomplished like all these things, world champion, bunch of years over. Then he's like, oh, this is boring. I need a new challenge. And he told this story about the first guy who ever climbed Mount Everest. And you know, imagine being the first human being to fucking climb Mount Everest.
Insane.
And he got up there and then he saw this other peak across and he started planning in his head how to climb that mountain. So I feel like if you're just insanely ambitious, it's kind of like, what's the next obstacle? What's the next mountain to climb, so to speak?
Do you ever take time to relax, let loose, vacation, anything like
Yeah, for sure. Like, I think it's really important for mental health. Like, I love just like being out in the sun in a beautiful place. Like, I think we're gonna go to Miami like 4th of July week. It's like our anniversary, and like I love being in the Caribbean. I'm going to my friend's bachelor party in the Bahamas in September. So,
that? Yeah.
I mean, we've gone to Europe a couple times. You know, in the process of owning Elf Line. So, I think it's super important to be able to get away.
Yeah, there's a lot of people and people even I know in my own life that are very, ambitious and hardworking, and
Right.
it's like their whole life is their job,
Right.
right? But they never take time to decompress. It's like,
Right.
yeah, like I mean, we were just on vacation last week in Boston, and I was working throughout the entire, trip. But it's like
Right.
at the same time, you need to be able to just kind of decompress and relax a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. It's like I think it's good not to take things too seriously. Like, I like to tell myself, like, as serious about, like, as I am about my goals, it's like, does any of this really matter that much in the overall scheme of things? Like, just like loosen up a little bit. Like, you're doing it because you enjoy the process and like overcoming obstacles and being the best version of yourself. But like, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Like, I'm not going to beat myself up over it.
Yeah. Is that like a trait that you learned when you were younger, or is that something you
No,
gained through
I think it like
wisdom?
honestly, I think it's honestly was one of my worst traits when I was younger, because I always think back to like I wanted to be a pro basketball player, and I actually think I wanted it too bad, if that makes sense. Like, I put so much pressure on myself, and I would just like tighten up. I wouldn't sometimes play loose. I would just stress myself out over it so much, just like obsess over it. So I feel like the more you want something, sometimes the farther you're away from it. So I think it's good to be a little bit carefree about things. Like, work as hard as possible, do everything in your control, and then like fuck it, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, that's a great perspective, man. When you look back at like your younger self and like you wanted to be a professional basketball player, do you remember when you came to terms like this isn't gonna happen?
I would say the first time. So I went to IMG Academy. It was like a sports academy. My junior year of high school, and I remember before kind of like the season started, I remember being in my first pickup game, and I'm on the floor with a guy who was the top ranked player in California, top ranked ninth grader in the country at one time, like super talented player. I'm on the floor with Michael Beasley, who was a second player picked in the NBA draft later on in his career post high school, and I just remember being on the floor and I'm like, oh shit, like there's this level. Like, because I could go to my local YMCA and people are like, oh shit, this guy can
Crush.
shoot so well, and just like destroy everyone. And then I remember being in that game and I'm like, oh, this is the top of the top level. So I was just like, I think I kind of like knew I couldn't bridge that gap in a matter of a couple of years. Like, there's just certain things like athleticism is a little bit like, yeah, like I trained and I can jump really well, but like there's guys who didn't train at all who had a 40-inch vertical leap, and like I can't train myself to be 6'8".
No.
I wish I could, but I can't.
No.
So it's
No.
like, the height thing, I feel like looking back, I would have had a lot better chance to be a pro tennis player, because I was really good at
Ooh.
tennis, and I'm like the perfect height and size
Yes.
for tennis.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
or even maybe like football, like safety or something.
Definitely. Oh, I want to see a jack tennis player.
Yeah, right.
Fucking dope.
That'd be
dude.
funny,
You're
right?
kind of always kind of lean, dude. But yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine, for me when I was younger, all I cared about was just skateboarding and partying and just having fun. And I played baseball till I was like 12 or 13, but that was, that was it. Skateboarding, snowboarding, that was it. But I couldn't imagine, the kids out there like yourself or even Tyler, like you put all this effort for all of these years at a young age. And I mean, it's a really good learning lesson, right? That nothing is ever, you never have anything for sure in life, right?
Right.
Like anything can possibly happen, right? So, and then you make it to like high school or even college, and it's like, no, this isn't gonna work. But
Right.
ever since you're a little kid, you dreamed,
Right.
pitching on the mound or shooting from the free throw line, like that. Those things that you build up in your brain, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, this is definitely not happening.
Right.
It's a really good learning lesson.
Nah, for sure. Because, I mean, life is tough. Like, you got to be able to persevere through, like, fear and failure. So I feel like those dreams that die when, let's say you had a dream of being a baseball player, football player, pro athlete. When you're 10 and you're 20, it doesn't happen. A lot of people are defeated by that. And, like, they let it carry over to everything else they do in life, which is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, dude, there's some like 40, 50-year-olds that are, back in my day,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was like
Like
tough shit.
Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite.
100%, dude. 100%.
Love that character.
It's like, shut up, man. So it's like, yeah, but
That's what my dad always tells me. I'll send my dad a video. He goes, "Oh, I could do that when I was your age." I'm like, "Bullshit."
what does Pops think of where you're at now?
Yeah, he's really proud. I mean, he's an entrepreneur himself. He started a real estate company in like a small town in Wisconsin. So, I feel like I took after him in a lot of ways. Like my mom, I kind of got the athlete stuff from my mom's side of the family, and then the entrepreneurial side from my dad's side of the family. So, like, he's really proud. He always wears like Alpha Lion shirts.
Yeah.
Takes his supplements. Is really proud when anyone like talks to him like, "Oh yeah, I saw your son like on this ad or on the internet and blah blah blah." So yeah, he's really proud.
That's so freaking cool, man. The person that you are today, right? Like, how much did your family, your parents, like, influence the man that is sitting here right now?
I'd say a lot because they're always really supportive of my goals. Like when I wanted to be a pro basketball player when I was really young, they didn't say, "Oh, it's unrealistic. Only 1 in a million kids are going to make it, blah, blah, blah." So they always really supported my goals. My dad always taught me to like dream big. I mean, he started his own company, so he was a pretty successful guy himself. And I think that's important sometimes to see. Like I see a lot of kids, maybe if they see their dad isn't successful, you kind of like compare yourself to your dad. I feel like most people, they kind of, at least how I was, I'm like, oh, if my dad can get here, I can get here.
Yes.
It's like, oh, it's like my family. If my dad can achieve this, I can achieve better. But if like your dad isn't successful, sometimes it can mess with your head.
Yeah.
But my mom, my dad, both super supportive of my goals. So I'd say it definitely helped a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good to have positive influences when you're younger, right? Like
For sure. You're so impressionable.
So much, right? And so to have that it's a huge bonus.
Yeah, 100%.
And yeah, there are people that don't have that, and some of them become successful, some of them definitely don't.
Right.
But having a mother and father that push you and kind of just respect you for what you want to do as being a little kid. I mean, I think that is so key to like the people that I talk to a lot of times when they have the mother and father, two people that are very supportive of their journey. It's like things turn out well. Right?
Yeah,
not
usually,
all the time,
right? Yeah.
Not all the time, but a lot of the times.
Right.
Not ones that baby them, not ones that coddle them, but ones that just support them.
Right.
And respect them. And I think that, that shows in who you are today as a person. Do you have any siblings?
I don't. Only child.
What was that like growing up?
I mean, I guess I have nothing to compare it to. So I don't think about it too often because it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. I never knew what it was like to have a little brother or sister. I mean, I always had like a golden retriever and me and my mom, my dad. That was pretty much it.
When you were younger, did you wish you had another sibling or no?
I had a lot of friends. Like we all kind of played sports throughout the years. So like I was always social. Like, I grew up in a small town in Wisconsin and there's absolutely nothing to do. So we were all just like into sports year round. So summertime we'd play baseball, fall and winter we'd play basketball. And it was just like sports year round. So
yeah, that's awesome, man. I mean, for you going through that, right? You growing up in Wisconsin, when did you have dreams to then pivot to Los Angeles?
Yeah, so I always hated living in a small town. Like I just knew there was so much more than this small town. Like it's great in terms of like you don't have all these like if you're in LA, you're gonna have some characters you're gonna stumble across. Like I don't know, in a small town, it's like there's less temptation to like get into drugs and everything like that at a young age. There's just less to do in general.
Yeah.
But I knew there is more. Like I just felt like I was in this like little like cube that I couldn't get out of. So my mom felt the same way. My mom always loved Florida. I did too. So when I was in high school, I actually moved to Florida.
Okay.
With my mother, and my dad would like commute, once, twice a month. So it was a very unique situation. And that's where I went to the basketball academy in Florida. And then I always loved California. I was obsessed with California. So then I got into like acting. I wanted to see what it was like to live out in California. So lived out in California for a couple of years, and those very tough years. Like I was dead broke, lost all my money. Like very interesting time of my life that kind of like shaped where I am today, to be honest.
What was it through that experience that, everything broke down, but then you were able to build it back up again?
Yeah, so I actually remember I was living with this lady so on Airbnb you can find like 1, 2, 3 month rentals. So
Of course.
I found this lady on Airbnb. She had like a little sushi food truck. Very nice lady. So I remember like living in this like little like she had a trailer part on her house. It was like this weird property where there is like it was like a little Airbnb business, but the wife and husband also lived there. So I remember like just living there for a month and a half, and it was just like that was rock bottom because I mean that was all I could afford. I was like I'm trying to think the city. It was like Marina Del Rey. I still remember it was like right behind a Walgreens. And I'm like, shit, I got to go back to Florida and like get my shit together, save up some money. So I actually like moved back home for like a month and a half. And then the guy I started doing the YouTube videos with, he had his online business. He basically hired me full time to just be the face of his brand. He sold like programs for skinny guys to bulk up and gain weight.
Okay.
So I've had like a little trickle of money coming in, moved back to Florida, moved in with him and his friend. And we all just started like grinding on the internet, trying to make money.
And this was what, 2014, 2015?
This would have been 2000, yeah, like 15 and 16 era, yeah.
When you look back at the times that you hit rock bottom, living in the sushi truck,
Yeah, yeah.
what does that feel like today?
I'm glad that I went through it now because I was so determined just to make something in my life. I remember when I was like 28, I'm like, oh shit, like maybe I'll just never get rich. I'll never make a lot of money. Like maybe this is just like, I remember just being like really scared about the future because I'm like, damn, I'm not that young anymore. Like shit just kind of got real. Like I'm 28, I'm 29, like I have nothing. And I was like, you know what though? I became like a psychopath. Those first like the first year or two with Alpha Line, I remember literally being online 7 days a week and we were just like, we have to make this work. And my business partner was similar age. He had, failed businesses. He had businesses he didn't want to be a part of. And it was just like the perfect timing. So I think it just made me like a lot hungrier,
Definitely. I mean, if you can take rock bottom, failure, whatever it is, right? And like I said at the beginning of the podcast, like learn from that. People's failures tend to be their greatest wins. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
It sucks in the moment.
Oh, yeah.
But when you look back, you're like, fuck, if I didn't go through that,
Right.
I wouldn't be where I am today.
Right.
Right. And that's so important to recognize. Because a lot of times going through failure, it's just, it fucking sucks, dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I've gone through my own shit, dude. So it's like, I know exactly what that is, what that's like. When you first started building Alpha Line, like what were some of the tactics to, really expand and grow the brand?
Yeah, great question. So one of the things that kind of jump-started the company was I had like a small YouTube presence kind of growing. So it wasn't much, but hey, like 20, 30,000 subscribers, make a little video showing how you make your pre-workout. All of a sudden, from that video, you might have 50 people who are like, oh, this is a cool brand. I want to like get behind this brand. So that helped get a little like traction going. My business partner had a lot of experience just running. He ran another influencer's business, like the email marketing, the ads, like the whole infrastructure. So I was really fortunate to partner with him at the time because he started to run some ads. We're able to run ads profitably after a little while, and I was able to get more awareness to the company. So it was really just like having the infrastructure of like, he did know how to run a business, even though he'd never built anything really big before. He had the foundation. I knew how to make content. I knew how to grow an audience, how to storytell through the content. So just doing that the first year, just to get some traction going.
I mean, that's so great. It sounds like a great partnership.
Yeah, absolutely.
Being able to hit both of those sides is so important when trying to build a brand and grow a brand.
For sure.
So when you guys first started, how many products did you guys launch with?
Our first product was a sleep product, actually. It used to be called Alpha Dreams.
Okay.
So that was our first product. Our second product was a fat burner, and our third product was a Superhuman pre-workout.
Okay. And where do you guys at now?
Oh shit, we got like 50 plus products, but like half the company is the pre-workouts. Like that's the category we dominate the most. Obviously like protein's huge, creatine, all those like products, but like for us, we have the most traction in pre-workout by far.
Why do you think that is?
I think just the branding, how we marketed it, just people resonate with the name Superhuman. Like even when we started to get our products in stores, like the stores would just sell out right away of Superhuman pre-workout. Then the other products would move slower. So like we have so much market research, it just shows that Superhuman people resonate with the branding. It's like a great product formula wise. It tastes really good. There's like fun branding behind it. Like you have Liquid Death right here. They're one of the few brands that reminds me of how we do our flavors. Like we do a pre-workout of the month every month, and we're on number 29 right now. So every single month is like a new theme and a new flavor. Like for instance, Halloween, we had a flavor called Screamsicle. So we try to have a lot of fun with like the flavors and branding. Like, we have a pre-workout called Hulk Juice. We have, our first pre-workout of the month, we called it Cherry Maguire. So we try to play off pop culture and things like that and just have fun with it.
Yeah, I think that's so important, man. I mean, what you just said is just have fun with it.
Absolutely. Right? Like we have all these crazy trademarks on flavors. Like we have Schwarzenegger trademarked.
Really?
we have Orange Gainsicle trademarked. Yeah, so we just try to have a ton of fun with like the flavor system. So it's one thing to have a quality product, but it's like be quality and don't be boring. So we're trying to really mesh those two together.
Yeah. Why do you think a lot of brands are boring?
I just feel like people are shitty storytellers in general, and like to be great at branding, I don't know. It's like most people aren't. Like Liquid Death is like, that's just incredible branding. Just look at their videos. It's all connected and like tells an amazing story.
Yes. Yeah, they did a really good job. And they fucking amazing.
I mean,
job.
it's just water, right? There's other sparkling waters out there. There's other flavored waters, like,
and it's more expensive than most of them too.
Yeah.
But like I definitely understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to. So do you guys have a team of people now that are spouting out the ideas, or like in-house graphic designers? How's that work?
Yeah, we have, so my good friend Cordero, who actually lives in LA, he used to have a YouTube channel, and he did these crazy social experiments. I mean, some of them are like way out there. One of them, he literally went up to girls in Venice Beach and he asked girls what they think of hand jobs. Like that was like his style of content, but he was like this crazy eccentric, like creative dude. Really funny guy on camera. So he made a few really viral YouTube videos, very creative guy. And so he started, we're always friends. He was my old camera guy for my YouTube channel. And he saw that we had some traction going with Elf Lion. So he basically pitched himself to myself and Jordan, the other co-founder, to have a position with the company. This is going back 4 years ago. So to this day, most of the ideas of like the flavors, the branding is all from like him, myself, and the other co-founder, Jordan.
Wow, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And then from the idea, right, you guys create the idea, what's the next process like for graphic design, artwork? How's that spout?
Yeah, so Cordero works firsthand with the graphic designer. So like we'll kind of like brainstorm internally like themes. So like if it's a new product, it just goes back to, it's like step one is like, okay, what is this product going to do? What's the target market? How are we going to brand it? What are we going to call it? And then from there, it goes to kind of like, okay, let's make a badass label. And obviously we have so many products, the labels kind of follow like a certain format now. But with the pre-workout of the months, it's a different theme. So we have to think in terms of like, okay, like September, what's going on? It's kind of like fall, there's football season. So sometimes we try to think of it in terms of what's going on like seasonality wise, or it's like, what's just something fun and crazy? Like our next one, I'm assuming this podcast isn't going to go live like tomorrow, so I'll drop it. But like the next one is like an alien theme.
Okay.
So like that could be any time of the year, right?
Yes,
so like,
yes.
And like one year was Miami Vice that dropped in the summer, just like a fun, summer theme. So like we'll brainstorm the themes and then we'll sign off on the theme. Then Cordero will work with the graphic designer, just making a badass bottle.
That's amazing, man. Do you guys ever see yourself like collaborating with, doing a brand of the pre-workout of the month with this influencer or that person?
No, for sure. Yeah, we have some pretty big names on board right now. So we're talking about just giving our bigger influencers their own flavor. Like I know Ghost does that with some of their bigger athletes, and we're talking with a few big like legacy like flavor brands in terms of like doing a collaboration with like Ghost kind of brought it to the market. They did like Chips Ahoy and like all these iconic like indulgence brands.
Sour Patch.
Yeah, so we're in talks with a few brands like that. I can't really speak about them yet because they're not solidified, but that's definitely coming down the road.
Yeah, that's so cool. What do you see as the future of Alpha and Superhuman?
Yeah, I think I want to see us become the best in terms of just providing like fuel and motivation, because I feel like a lot of companies sell a good product, but it just stops there. So like, how do we create this full immersive experience? Maybe it's like using artificial intelligence in some really customized like app, but like, how do we truly change people's lives more than just giving them a product? Because like, there's no barrier to entry to make a supplement. Anyone can make a supplement and sell it with, a few $1,000s and, an internet connection, right? And a manufacturer. But It's like, how do we become more than that? Like, there's those brands that just like Nike. Nike's a very like motivational, aspirational brand.
Yeah.
Like, even though they're using the world's best athletes, it's like, someone might see a commercial of LeBron James that's just like a fat guy on the couch and be like, oh shit, like I'm inspired. Maybe I'll go to the gym tomorrow.
Yes, yes.
So I think it's just, being the most motivational brand, being the best storytelling brand.
What inspires you?
I think what inspires me is it goes back to what kind of like got me to where I am right now was the whole Greg Plitt story. I remember just watching his videos, watching his content, hearing him talk, hearing his stories of like even he would tell stories about other people's perseverance. Like his Walt Disney story is insane. Just the way he tells it, and like, how Walt Disney like literally got fired because he wasn't creative enough from this newspaper company, and then he went broke. Someone stole his idea during the Great Depression, and like literally 10 years of failures, and then he sketched out Mickey Mouse, and everyone's like, oh, I don't think anyone's gonna resonate with the mouse, but he just like. He did it. Like, that's an incredible, like, inspirational story. So, like, what motivates me is I just want to inspire as many people as possible. Maybe it's on their fitness journey. Hopefully it's something even more than that. So, basically, like, what Greg Plitt did for me, I want to do for as many people as humanly possible. So, it's, like, easy for me now to think of what kind of videos do I want to make? Because, will it potentially inspire people? If it doesn't, okay, probably a bad video.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
When you go to create content, what is the process like?
Yeah, it's changed ton the last 4 or 5 months. So like I just hired a full-time video producer to kind of really help me like make incredible videos, tell a great story. I'm actually about to launch my series tomorrow. I haven't uploaded in like damn near 3 months. Because I was doing a lot of videos on just kind of like, here's a proper way to train your chest for results. And I was doing a lot of workout videos. And I was, collabing with some people. I used to do videos with Charles Glass, the godfather of bodybuilding, when I lived in LA. And I'd go to Gold's Gym, Venice Beach. We cranked out like 30, 40 videos. I think they've gotten like 30, 40 million views on YouTube. And like that was great at the time. And now I'm at a point where like there's so many people in good shape making workout videos. Like, how do I evolve past this? So my process now is like, what can I personally undertake in terms of a challenge that I'm genuinely interested in that I think will inspire people? And just like, what's the best story I can tell then, like within that video?
What made you want to shift the direction that you were going with content?
I think because I didn't know, I was just making content to make content. It was like, oh, people like follow me. I have like, these followers on social media. It's cool. It feels good to get attention. And then all of a sudden one day I'm like, I don't know, like I'm in a position, like I'm not really like I'm an influencer, but like I also own a brand. I can like, how do I just like position myself differently than every other influencer? And I was like, what do I actually want to do? What am I passionate about? And it always comes down to just inspiring people. And I feel like I can't be inspiring. Like if Greg Plitt only told me how to train my chest, I wouldn't like have looked up to him.
Yeah.
It's like he not only looked the way that I wanted to look, it's that he inspired me to do something amazing with my life. So like what inspires me to just stay in great shape is because, yeah, like I want to look great in the mirror, but I also want to look great because if you look a certain way, you command respect. People listen to you more.
Yes.
So I have like a bigger purpose now than I did in like my 20s. I was just like, oh, I want to just be shredded because it's cool and I can make money and say I'm like a fitness model and all this shit. But like now I do things because I want to truly inspire people. That's like, to me, that's amazing. Like if someone's having a bad day, they have no vision, they're just like, don't know what the hell they want to do. And then they come across your content and you just speak to them in a way they've never been spoke to before. It could change your life. So it's like, to me, that's what it's all about.
It so can, man. Like it really, really can. Especially, people that are going through dark shit and they come across, Greg's video, your video,
right?
It Goggins' video, like it it changes a lot of people, and that's a powerful tool, right? And to be able to notice, right, that I don't want to do this anymore, even though these videos would get a lot of views, right? It's like it's at the end of the day, it's like what's going to make you happy, right?
Right.
And what is going to help then inspire other people. After everything that you're doing, like what are you most passionate about today?
I love doing the content creation stuff because there's no like boundary to what you can do. It's like some of the upcoming video ideas, like they've never been done on YouTube before. And that excites me because it really, like I'm a creative person when it comes down to it. And I just like to I like to think of stuff. I like to like think of stuff that's never been done before. So like I really get inspired and excited to just like create stuff. Like if we sell elf lines someday, I think I would definitely like go into movie production or like what's like it's still creating. It's just okay, now I have more of a budget. I can build a whole team. I could spend a year on this amazing project. But it would still come down to like how can I make a movie now that inspires people? How can I make a Netflix series, whatever it may be? So I think I love to create stuff.
Well, that's awesome. Like you can definitely see yourself one day pivoting towards film or movies.
100%, yeah. Like maybe I make a sports. I love sports movies. I love comedy movies. I love inspiring people. So I don't know, some hybrid combination of those elements.
You remember the movie Rudy?
Oh yeah,
Dude.
yeah.
As a kid, that shit would fucking pump me up. Dude.
Yeah.
Pump me up. Do you ever sit down and like write or like think of different things that you would make when you get there?
I haven't spent a ton of time on it now. Now, most of my time, like, writing stuff is just brainstorming YouTube concepts and scripting those videos, which I think is great practice because, like, I'm spending a lot more time on my videos now. Like, I work with my full-time producer. He's a really good, like, writer and storyteller. So, I mean, we'll script some stuff, and then a lot of stuff will be unscripted because I don't know what's going to happen when I, try this challenge. Like, we have one upcoming video. So Death Valley, it's, like, the hottest place on earth, hour and a half, 2 hours away. And there's this thing called the Impossible Mile, where basically you run a quarter mile, you do 100 push-ups. You run a quarter mile, you do 100 burpees. You run a quarter mile, you do 100 bodyweight squats, finish a quarter mile. So I have a challenge where I'm running the Impossible Mile in the hottest place on earth.
So like,
I can't script what I'm going to feel. It's just like, we're going to have a story behind it and why I'm doing it. But then it's like, okay, let's see what happens.
Fuck, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's so awesome.
I'm trying to like kind of come up with those ideas. Like it was inspired by a video. I like seeing like I respect a few creators on YouTube. I'll kind of see their content and then how can I see why I like this video. I see why it did well. How can I like spin it and make it something different for my own?
Absolutely. I mean, that's so much on YouTube and content creation in general, right? Like it's like, people getting inspired by other things. When do you think you're gonna do that?
So funny you mentioned David Goggins. So I just started running, preparing for that video. And I don't do I was just running a mile. I'd go around the neighborhood here. So on day 6, my calves were so fucking sore from running every day. But I was getting in way better shape. I started off with like an 8-minute mile. I was down to like 7 minutes in like 5-6 days. But on day 6, I literally strained my calf. I felt like a little pop in my calf. So now I'm like, I got to rehab it and I can't run for like 2 weeks. Ooh. So I'm thinking it'll probably be sometime in July.
Dude,
mid to late July.
How hot is it going to be?
Probably like 115.
That's
definitely
crazy.
Have some electrolytes in my system and all that good stuff.
How long do you think something like that will take?
So there's one person who did the Impossible Mile, not in the hottest place on earth on YouTube, and it took him like 22 minutes. So I'll try to beat that time. I don't know. I mean, I can run a mile in 6.5, 7 minutes, but
fuck, dude.
But then doing the other stuff between, we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, dude, that's just the 100 burpees, all of those things, 100 push-ups. I mean, it's just it's a mental challenge more than anything.
Oh yeah,
like that,
dude. Cardio's insane. Like I was actually thinking of David Goggins when I was running because like I'm not in great cardio shape. I'll sprint, which is anaerobic, but it doesn't prepare your body for running 1, 2, 3 miles. So I remember just running and I'm like, this is the worst fucking feeling ever. Like I just want to die right now.
It's crazy.
And I just hear David Goggins in my ear. I just think of him running with his broken, like all the broken, bones in his foot.
Dude, earlier this year, Tyler and I ran the LA Marathon, and
that is insane. I could never imagine running a marathon. I'm not trying to get to that level of cardio.
Fucking insane, dude. It's insane, but I mean, when you finish, it's one of the greatest things that you'll ever just going across that finish line. But
did you train for that? Like, what does that look like? Because I mean, were you drunk? I mean, what'd you do?
So I had every intention. So Tyler calls me up in January or February and says, we're gonna, you want to run this marathon, right?
Right.
And I said yes to him because I had sent out a text message probably a month before that to my friends, let's do a Spartan race, right? No one responded. Right. So I was like, all right, I'm going to fucking do this, but next time I hit you up, you're going to do what I want to do, right? And so we ran one time, I don't know, a couple months before the actual marathon, and I fucked up my knees so bad, right?
Really?
And so I got
it's
an MRI.
The tendon pain or what happened specifically?
Yeah, it's just inflammation.
Yeah.
I was trying to bitch out of it, dude.
Yeah,
I was literally trying to bitch out of it. I even told Tyler, I was like, I'll run 5 miles and then I'll quit, right? I know I've told this story so many times. I'm really sorry, guys. But so we get there, right? I didn't train for shit, dude.
Right.
Like, no, which is very dumb, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
But we start running, and I get to the 4th or 5th mile, dude, and you just see fucking people in wheelchairs, people, fucking with wheelbarrows and basketballs, and this
God.
person with no legs. Like, it's just insane, and it just like inspires you to keep on going. And so I just kept on going. It was fucking so challenging, but it's all in the brain, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have trained. I know I'm an idiot. And for about 2 months, I was in pain.
Right.
I was in so much pain.
2 months after?
Oh, for like a month after, dude.
Really?
Well, because we also had to move his grandmother's house like a week or two later.
Oh, wow.
So it was just like a lot. But like, we didn't train for it, but it was kind of stupid, whatever. But
what was
still
your
an amazing
time?
experience. Oh, mine fucking slow.
Like the pace per mile that you got?
Yeah, very slow. I'm too embarrassed to say anything.
Like
but
15 minutes, 12 minutes?
No, it was like 10 or 11.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah. But still, I finished.
Yeah.
At the end of
Did
the
you
day, I
walk
finished.
at all, or
No, I mean,
like slow jog?
slow jog,
Yeah.
slow jog. I mean, my knees were messed up, even to the point like where this guy came up to me and has said, "Hey, if you run on this side, right, where the ground is like better level, it'll be less pain on your legs, right?" Because I was just kind of like hobbling on, but everyone was. He finished like an hour before me though.
Wow.
And I know if I trained and practiced and do all of that, I could run an 8-minute mile, not for the entire marathon, I don't think, but like definitely a lot faster. But at the end of the day, it's about finishing, right?
Yeah,
Like
that's what it's all about.
That's
persevering and finishing, right?
absolutely, right? I don't give a fuck if it takes you 20 minutes, right? Like,
Yeah.
per mile, like getting across that finish line. And I think that's something that you push and inspire people a lot to do. And I think that your next big challenge should be a marathon.
Yeah. Oh shit, that'd be crazy.
I mean, you kick ass at it, bro. You ever thought of it?
I think I'm on like a kick right now of doing I do a lot of like jump training. I actually hired the guy who trained Mac McClung, who won the NBA slam dunk contest, like a 6-foot white dude, jump out of the gym. So like, I wanna over the next year or two, I wanna see like how far I can take like my vertical jump, my speed. Because if I train for a marathon, it contradicts all that. It's literally a different muscle fiber type. So like maybe once I get all that out of my system, I hit like my 40-inch vertical goal, I definitely consider it.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm very I'd have to completely stop bodybuilding for probably like 3-4 months. Like it's not beneficial to carry on a lot of weight. I know that for sure. So yeah, I guess I have goals that contradict it in the meantime. Like I want to land a fitness magazine cover. That's one of my big goals. So like I can't lose all my gains.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not
So
at all.
like maybe in the next 3 years, it's definitely an inspiring goal.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great experience, but I mean, you got other things that you can definitely do to satisfy that. A fitness magazine cover.
Yeah.
It's a goal.
Yeah.
I love that. How do you even go about doing that?
Just get in incredible shape, hire a photographer who works with, the editor-in-chief of different magazines, and just kind of go about it that way. If you can pitch them a story, great. Like, maybe my story is that, like, I'm not just a full-time bodybuilder influencer. I'm running this company too. I'm like, super busy guy. I'm close to 40, whatever.
Yeah.
So just having, obviously being in great shape, the photo shoot, what's the story, and see what happens.
Is that weird to say close to 40?
Well, I'm not that close. I'm like 2.5 years away.
You're close. We're both close, dude.
That's like a quarter of a decade. That's a long, long, long time. That's like almost 1,000 days.
Yes. 1,000 days will go by like that.
Yeah.
It is weird, right?
Yeah, I guess it's weird. But I guess, the thing with fitness is because if the better shape you're in while being older, the more inspiring it is.
Fuck yes.
Like you go on Instagram, we sign a lot of influencers to Elfline. I think we have like 55, 60, influencers, athletes on like salary payroll. And like most of them are in their like 21, 22 and they're all shredded. Only a few of them are 35 to 40 range and shredded and in great shape. So it's like, it's easy to be in great shape when you don't have responsibilities. You can just live in the gym, take pictures for social media. But it's a lot more inspiring if you're, work 50, 60 hours a week, you have a family, and you're in great shape. It's way more inspiring. So I feel like I want to keep pushing fitness as much as I can. Like I always tell myself, like, oh, this is the year I'm going to be in the best shape of my life. And then when I'm like 39, I'll have to say that to myself again. Okay, I'm about to be 40. I have to crank up my fitness even more.
Yes, yeah, it is. I mean, I just love seeing people in their 40s, 50s, right, that I love it when they're shredded. I just love it when they're in good shape, right? Got a six pack, whatever it is. Like it's a lot more inspiring than a 20-year-old being shredded.
Yeah,
100%.
exactly.
Right. Because I mean, life is life, man. It catches up, and you know, you've got all work, family, and all of these things swirling around. So then to be able to still commit time, but it's so important. Like, and I know you know that, like, to take really good care of your body, especially the older you get.
100%. Yeah.
Right. Like, you don't want your life, right? Let's say you live to 98 years old, right? You don't want to at 80 years old start having a decline, right?
Right.
You want like at 89 and a half have a decline done, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like that would be the goal, right?
Right.
That would be the superhuman goal, right? Do you have like a superhuman stack that you take for longevity?
Yeah, great question. So I like taking greens first thing in the morning. So like we have our superhuman greens. A lot of times, like if I'm cutting, I will not eat breakfast before I train. Greens kind of keep me full. I love taking protein just to get my protein quota in throughout the day. And then I love taking a sleep product. So like kind of just, morning, pre-workout, nighttime routine.
Nice. What is the sleep product?
Superhuman sleep.
What's in it?
So it's basically melatonin, GABA. It's got amino acids for recovery, like leucine. It's got some glutamine. So it's going to help you get in REM sleep. REM sleep longer. It's going to give you the amino acids. Also has a lot of like good electrolytes to replenish that. So if you train really hard, it's like you can't just drink water to replenish electrolytes. Yeah. So it's just kind of like an insurance policy against like amino acids, electrolytes, and just good ingredients to help you sleep.
Now for you, like what, like food always seems to be a challenge for a lot of people, right?
Yeah, yeah.
How do you knock that off? Like, do you have pre-made meals? Do you just cook as you go? Do you have someone,
Good question. I mean, my wife does a lot of cooking. I'll give her a shout out over there. Man, I love food. The thing is like I have a sweet tooth. I remember when I was like 10, 12 years old, I'd wake up in the middle of the night, I'd eat peanut butter cups. Then I'd go back to bed.
Let's go.
Or like my grandma would make me cupcakes and I'd like literally eat like 20 in like 2 days. So I've always struggled with like, but I also have a decently fast metabolism and I just train like crazy. So like even I'm on like a shred, what I'll do is like I'll count my calories to know that like, okay, I can have 300 calories of Reese's. I'm still going to be in my little deficit and like my protein. So I'm pretty strategic with it because I feel like if you're OCD about like knowing your macros and knowing like what your body needs, you can kind of like bend the rules a little bit. Like I literally had a donut the other night when I was out with like my friends. I had like Reese's a couple days ago. So I find clever ways to eat the foods that I love. But in terms of like just having everything prepared, there's like convenient meals I always go towards. Like for breakfast, Chick-fil-A, amazing grilled chicken, egg white sandwich, 50 grams of protein in 2 of them. I always have like clean protein. Like I always have like eggs, lean beef, lean turkey around. I eat simple, a lot of meals, and then I'll reward myself. So like I'll just eat like, shredded potatoes and lean beef and hot sauce is like a meal, great macros.
Nice.
And then maybe it's Sunday, I'm like, all right, let's get some Blaze pizza. Let's get Chipotle. Let's get some tacos.
Yes. Yeah, you got to treat yourself.
Definitely.
Had you, even when you were a kid, like, did you count your calories and do all of that? Or like, is that like a new thing?
No, I was just like
living
skinny and fast metabolism.
Yeah.
Just kind of like, okay, get protein in. But I guess as I got more serious about just like content and looking a certain way and just like seeing what other people do that look a certain way that I want to look like, I'm like, oh shit, I kind of do need to like dial this in. Like I can look good, but I'm not going to look great unless I really dial this in and figure it out. So I'm at a point now where I know exactly how many macros I need to eat. So it's just a matter of like just doing it. Like I've just done it so long. So like I know if I'm trying to shred, for example, I eat 2,700 calories a day. I train 6 days a week. I get 200 grams of protein. I'm just like, boom, the results are going to happen. If I'm trying to gain muscle, I know I need to eat 3,500 calories.
And how much protein?
220.
And where do you get, like, is that all from like beef or protein shakes or?
Eggs, protein shakes. Like I'll take, my company's Superhuman Protein. If I have 2 scoops of that, that's 50 grams. It's just like meals, like 5-6 meals, each having 30 to 40 grams, and then like a protein shake kind of in between.
Is that like easy for you to eat all that food and drink all that? Is it just second nature now?
Yeah, because like right now I'm cutting, so like to me I go to bed literally hungry. So yeah, it's pretty easy for me.
Are you good with the water?
Yeah, pretty good with water. I get dehydrated really easily, so I just like compulsively always drink water.
Yeah, I mean it's so important. It's something that people fuck up a lot. A lot is water.
Yeah, for sure.
So looking forward for the future, right, man? Like for yourself, for your life, I know I kind of asked this before, but you know, as we definitely start to kind of wind this down a little bit, like where do you want to take Alpha and Superhuman? Like, do you want to continue to make more products? Do you guys have thoughts of expanding?
Yeah, we're definitely
energy drink.
always trying to expand and grow. I think an energy drink will happen sometime in like the near future, maybe a year, 2 years max, maybe less. Just really dialing in our messaging of just being like a performance-centric brand obsessed with just giving people the perfect fuel and motivation they need to become the greatest version of themselves and then motivate everyone around them. So I know there's so much we can do that's untapped with like content and, you know, bringing on like bigger names. We actually just brought on, I won't mention who it is yet because we haven't made an announcement, but he's one of the greatest baseball players of all time.
Dude, that's amazing.
Maybe the most marketable baseball player of all time. If you know a lot about baseball, you could probably guess who it is.
Okay.
But yeah, like we just signed him to the brand. So he's going to be our first like big celebrity spokesperson. So there's big like activations that we can do, like TV commercials, these huge campaigns that we haven't really tapped into yet. So I'm really interested to see where that takes us. And like, I do want to exit at some point, you know, let's say 5 years or less, and, you know, continue being obsessed with storytelling and inspiring people. So maybe I exit and then I get into like the movie business, or maybe I just do the fitness version of Mr. Beast and it's not a movie business, just like making these crazy YouTube videos. I don't know, but like, I think it'd be a great position to be in.
Yeah, I love that. I absolutely love that. And that's so cool, man. I mean, to be able to have such a grasp on your life, right? It you know, like if you look back when you were younger and like things were chaotic, right? And it's just like, fuck that feeling, right? The feeling at the end of the month, you don't know how to pay the bills, or, you know, just like you don't know where the shit's coming from. And then you get to a point, right, where you're in your mid to, you know, later 30s and things are starting to click and work well. And, you know, especially for you, like it gives you a grasp on life that, you know, I don't think you realize that is possible when you're younger.
100%. I feel like you have to be selfish before you can be selfless. It's like, be selfish, like collect your money, take care of yourself. And then once you don't have to worry about money anymore, it's like you can kind of figure out what's my bigger purpose and like, how can I achieve it? So I feel like you just got to collect the bag first. And like, because you can't be stressed out worrying about how you're going to pay your bills and keep a roof over your head while also inspiring people, right?
Come on, dude.
You know,
there's no
like,
fucking way. Like, at the end of the day, like, if you got a good message, that's great. But if you can't pay your bills, like, what do you like? That doesn't make sense.
It kind of be motivational if you're like on the streets, homeless, and you're still trying to inspire people on your phone. But like, I don't know.
True. I guess it's a different point. I get what you're saying. But I was like, even like thinking like I would never want to buy supplements from a supplement company if like the founder and owner wasn't jacked, right?
Yeah,
like,
true. There are some companies like that.
I know.
I'm like, this dude doesn't even work out. What's this guy's deal?
Like what the like, bro?
I don't want to call it certain brands, but yeah, there are some brands out there.
I don't trust you, bro. Like, it's fishy, dude. Like, well, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, there's some companies like, they're just like, oh, internet marketer. Oh, I see opportunity to, you know, sell these weight loss pills. Let's just jump into this industry.
Yeah, and they're fucking overweight, man.
Yeah.
So it's like such a weird dichotomy, right? So
absolutely.
When you leave this earth, right?
This is deep.
What do you want to be remembered for? What do you want your legacy to be?
I feel like just simply inspiring people. Not many people, if you really think about it, how many people truly inspire people? Like, think about Kobe Bryant when he passed away. It was such like a big thing because it wasn't just because he was a great basketball player. There's a lot of great basketball players. Granted, he's top 5, 10 all time.
Yeah.
But I think that so many people celebrated his life is just like his Mamba mentality, the work ethic. Like, he inspired so many people. He was obsessed with continuous improvement. So like, I feel like I really resonate with just his mindset of just being obsessed. Like, first of all, figure out what you want to be obsessed with. And then it's like, how can I get better at that thing every single day? And for everyone, it's different. Maybe for like a woman watching, it's just being the best parent or best wife, whatever. Yeah. But it's just like figuring out that and being obsessed with continuous improvement. So like, there's certain people who I just feel like inspire millions and billions of people. And like, he was one of them. So like, if I get anywhere in the stratosphere of like that impact, I think that would be the ultimate.
I mean, that's a beautiful thing. I mean, there are a few people when they passed away, I can remember exactly where I was, and he was one of them.
I know. I remember it was a Sunday.
Yeah,
and I remember I was living in downtown LA across from, was it the Staples Center in 2020 or is it Crypto.com Arena?
Ooh,
I forget.
I don't know.
But I was nonetheless.
Nonetheless,
I was living.
2021.
I was living in the Circa building, which is right across the street from the arena, with my wife. And I remember it was a Sunday, and it was really gloomy. And then I remember my friend Cordero. I don't like watch the news much, and I was like off my phone, just doing my thing on a Sunday. And my friend Cordero, I remember reading the text. He's like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "Kobe Bryant's dead?" ? And I'm like, "Huh?"
Yeah.
Then I went on ESPN.com, and I'm like, "Holy shit!"
It was so weird. Yeah, I remember being told too, and I thought it was a joke. And then I went online, and then everyone's talking about it. Everyone's crying. Like, it was fucking nuts, man.
Yeah,
It was nuts.
he's one of those people you think is just like invincible, you know?
Yeah,
I remember the Kobe death and 9/11 the most for some reason. Those two moments.
Where were you when 9/11 happened?
Was I in middle school or elementary school?
You were in high school.
High school. I think I was in 9th grade.
Yeah, me too.
I remember being in like a chemistry class, and it was right after lunch.
Yeah, I was in Mr.
Something like that.
Mr. Gilkey's class.
Mr. Gilkey.
I don't remember.
Man's bad luck.
I don't remember any of my teachers' names. Like only a few of them, because only a few of them, but his for sure stood out, dude. Yeah, such a weird time. I remember when Princess Di passed away.
Oh yeah.
That was in
I
Las
remember that one
Vegas.
too. Yeah.
It's like kind of like weird. Like there's these people that like when this shit happens, like you remember you were, but 9/11 it's fucking tragic, man. It's so crazy, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
And hearing some of the people's stories all these years later. Casey Neistat shared an insane story of his experience. He was on the Flagrant podcast, Andrew Schultz podcast.
Yeah.
And his story of 9/11 is just insane. And then I had a girl on who actually lives there.
Wow.
And her experience was just fucking tragic, dude. Just so insane.
Yeah.
People jumping out of buildings, falling.
Yeah, can't imagine.
Fucking just terror, right?
Yeah.
You know, man, I mean, I think legacy and you know, the feeling, right, from this entire conversation is like inspiration, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I think that is for me, right, myself, that's so important, right? Like, I think that to be able to inspire and aid and help other people,
Right.
it is single-handedly like one of the most important things for me personally. So it really resonates
Right.
when you say that, right? You know, and you're doing it, man. You're doing it. And, you know, I sincerely appreciate you allowing us to come here to your home.
Yeah, of course.
your
This has been fun.
studio.
Kind of get my feet
Yeah.
wet in the podcast
Yeah,
world. So
yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
Have you done a podcast before?
I've done a few. I did one. I was at bodybuilding.com headquarters a
Okay.
couple of years ago, and you know they had a whole like podcast room and setup. I did that one. I've done a few others. I can't even recall. Nothing in the last year though. So
Yeah.
just been good. I've just kind of been in my own world the last couple months, just getting the YouTube like series off the ground and all that good stuff. So definitely was fun.
I love that, man. Yeah, thank you, dude. And I'm excited to see what's next for you, bro. Like, keep on fucking pushing, dude. Seriously. Where can people find your stuff?
Yeah, so I'm at Superhuman Troy on like literally every single platform: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. And of course, my company is Alpha Lion. So our IG is just at alpha.lion, alphalion.com, and that's where you can find me.
Dude, it's awesome.
Out in the
man.
desert.
Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, definitely the desert, man. Beautiful home, too.
Appreciate it.
All right, brother. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you for everyone for listening. Have a good night. Smooches. Boom.